I think a goal that the three of us share strongly is the desire for the negative sides of AI to become more present to the general public. I also think the line between reality and fiction going away is going to be something that people talk about a lot.
Three dads running 3 YouTube channels, working to wake up the world to AI risk. Tackle 1 missed warning shot each week. If it's Sunday, it's warning shots.
Hey, I'm John Sherman, host of For Humanity and AI Risk podcast. I need you right now to become a subscriber to the AI Risk Network. Go in, hit subscribe, hit alarm, do it.
Welcome everybody to Warning Shots. Once again, I am John Sherman, joining you from scenic Aspen, Colorado. Joined as always by the fantastic Liron Shapira of Doom Debates, by our dear friend Michael of Lethal Intelligence. And every week we get together to talk about things that happen in AI risk that should be a bigger deal in the world that aren't. So this week we're going to touch on 2 things. We're going to start out with Sora 2, which came out and melted people's minds by making real-looking videos of a whole bunch of things, blending the line between reality and, fiction. What is it? So, Liron, what is your top line take on Sora 2 and all this insane content it's spitting out?
I personally don't care that much about social media and the effect on our society. You know, people can analyze that problem. I don't see that as a civilizational warning shot. To me, the civilizational warning shot is it's another capabilities increase. So the people who looked at Sora 1 and they're like, it's not that good. It doesn't really do sound. The videos are kind of short. It's like, okay, well, most of those concerns are addressed. So give us the new concerns and give us 6 months, right? And it's just like, there's not that many stair steps. Right, so it just shows to me like, the curves aren't bending. Okay, where does the curve lead? Past UN powers. It's getting closer and closer.
And this is in the classic Liron. It's a game of Jenga. We're pulling out the pieces, and this is a big old chunk we pull out. And how many are left? Michael, what do you think about Sora 2? I can see both. I think that certainly it's important as an increase in capabilities because we have to monitor that. But I also think the line between reality and fiction going away is going to be something that people talk about a lot. Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, I want to challenge you. I'm going to ask you, how do you know this episode is not actually, AI? Perhaps the whole episode is a prompt, right? So,
gotcha.
I mean, if you see us suddenly floating and our faces morphing into Sam Altman, Dario Amodei, and Mark Zuckerberg, okay, then you will have some well-founded suspicions. But otherwise, I mean, there really isn't a way to tell anymore. And if you ask yourself, what does this do to the fabric of society? We don't have a shared reality anymore. So if one person cannot tell what's real, what are you going to do? You're going to call that person insane, right? But if the whole society cannot tell what's real, what are you going to do then? You're out of options. And it's already so easy to generate text and audio and now video. So how do you know that a piece of media you consume is actually true? There is really no way. And to be fair, I mean, a strong version of shared reality has always been a bit of a problem, especially during times of conflict. Every side has its own propaganda machine, and the winner gets to dictate how history is written, and then that's what ends up being taught in schools. But of course, various groups with various agendas will challenge this, claim different versions of history, and so on and so forth. But now this is taken to a complete next level, and it's getting to the point where everything coming to your screen it's very trivial to fake. And you know how the algorithm radicalizes you because it feeds you things you are more likely for you to engage with. So it's like an echo chamber where you are fed more and more of your tribe's stuff. Now imagine adding this fake generated stuff to the mix, and you will get more and more of this extreme. It will make you more and more extreme, your beliefs. And I just give you one more example, like how in North Korea they have these crazy beliefs. Like they think Kim Jong-un doesn't pee, he doesn't poop, he's some kind of deity. And they actually believe this. Now imagine this on steroids and personalized. So, every person will have like a unique belief system based on the algorithm. And if, let's say, it detects that you're a bit anti-woke or something, it might feed you with so much fake stuff that you might start believing that Europe is like other seeds or by transsexuals, or that the Ursula von der Leyen has made her hair purple or something. Or it might go another direction. I suspect it will be personalized. Anyway, so my point is that there is no shared reality anymore, and every person will live in a different universe and know different things about the world.
Yeah, that's nuts. And then I feel like I've been thinking this for a long time, that there's going to be some piece of media that comes out that really, is totally fake, but totally fakes out the world. and there's some sort of big reaction to it, because they don't suss out that it's fake. Liron, could you see that happening where a fake video comes in and it's something really dramatic about someone really famous, really important, and maybe people start shooting missiles, or there are actual real world consequences to fake videos?
Yeah, so I think the most realistic scenario is we've actually already seen it. The Israeli Mossad is good at that kind of stuff. The way that they got a bunch of generals together and a bunch of nuclear scientists in Iran is they did like a deepfake voice call where one of their generals was like, all right, guys, we're all meeting here. We got to deal with this threat. And it was like fake. And then they killed all these top people. And this was just like a couple months ago. So imagine that kind of thing. And it's like a video call, right? So that would be like this super targeted, like nation state level application of this deepfake technology. Now, in terms of like random, you're scrolling social media and you see the fake. It's like, yeah, but we already see that. I remember like the Pope had like the fake jacket, right? It's like, that's going to be more minor and people are going to get like an immune system. Like, hold on, we got to double check. We got to go to the New York Times or we got to see like an official source. So like, it's not going to cause too much chaos. There's just going to be a lot more double checking.
Yeah. And I think a goal that the three of us share strongly is the desire for the negative sides of AI to become more present to the general public, and for there to be a greater interest in slowing down our suicidal race to superintelligence. These kinds of things, I feel like, can be impactful in that they just start to sway public opinion the other way from, oh, it's so helpful, it's so useful, to like, ooh, it's got some really like, gnarly consequences that could come out of this. Michael, you have any hope in that direction, that like this is something that can be a break on things?
I have some hope, but I think something that many people maybe don't realize. I think it's obvious that the inability to establish a robust shared reality is a major vulnerability in our civilization. And it's definitely something I would exploit if I were a power-seeking AI that's trying to seize control. So, okay, people laugh with ridiculous fakes and all the jokes, and they're worried about how some shady bad actor could use this tech to damage democracy. But and there is someone writing the prompts for these fake videos, right? But it should be obvious, that this someone could also be an AI agent. And a human could come up with a few prompts for laughs or malice, but an AI agent could spit out endless stream of highly optimized prompts, and each of which will be instrumental to a purpose. And I don't know what the purpose will be. It doesn't matter. At some point, there will be a purpose that will be human incompatible. But my main point is that even with that, humans will not be able to compete against super intelligent agents who overflow the internet with fake media. So what are you going to do then? I mean, we're having this podcast trying to warn people, as you say. What a joke will that be? An adversarial agent could generate 100 podcast episodes like this, making the opposite claims. So we don't stand a chance. I mean, once the AI exceeds a certain capabilities threshold, there will be nothing for AI safety advocates to do anymore. It will be game over. So yes, controlling the narrative and establishing a fair reality is something like a walk in the park for the upcoming superintelligence, given how fragile the shared reality is.
Yeah. And Liron, how far away do you think we are from the point where, there's an agentic AI system that's making persuasive videos on its own for its own purposes?
I see it as one threshold where, there's the event horizon where at some point the AI is going to be smarter than a human. So you can just leave an AI running overnight and it's just going to be as good as a determined smart human, with 1 million clones or however many. And they're just independently going and doing a campaign to distort everybody's views. But it's kind of like, it's this threshold where they can work independently and you can call them truly AGI, truly generally intelligent, and then just better than a human because they're working 24/7, they're sharing information, they're messaging like 1 million people at the same time. So they're just in every way better than a human, they're independent. Until that point, as long as you still need a human to be checking in like multiple times a day and be like, oops, don't do that, no, pull back, do this instead. As long as you've still got a human working the controls, I don't think life is going to be fundamentally different because it's going to be similar to how on social media today, you've already got a bunch of humans running a bunch of bots telling you every possible opinion under the sun. So I really do see it as like black and white. Like until the campaign is fully managed by the AI, it's largely going to be business as usual.
And do you have any sense of the timing of that seismic shift? Like, is that, 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years away? How far?
I see this as pretty close to my AGI timeline because it's like it's like you look at every job and like, yes, there's a rising tide where like some of the easier jobs or simpler in some sense are getting fully automated, but like it's still very common where like every job you can think of, you still need some humans there supervising. So I see the waterline is rising pretty uniformly, like in every job, there's like, it's not fully autonomous. And I feel like a lot of these thresholds are going to get crossed within the same 12 months or 24 months or something. And so in my timeline, the time when we really see AI start manipulating everybody and distorting our reality, that's actually going to be a very similar timeline to when the AI is going to be like, you know what, I can actually like take over the military too, right? I can just make your war plan. I can like go rogue myself. I can launch bioviruses. I actually think all of these things come in pretty similar time frames, but I have been wrong before, right? I would have told you that even chatbots as good as we have today is going to be within a year or two of something else dangerous. And I would have been so wrong because it's not a year or two, it's like 10 years. So I would have been so wrong, right? To a year or two versus 10, I would have been somewhat wrong.
Yeah, it's impossible to make good predictions, but I feel already like Facebook is like a zombie internet. There's a mix of bots and humans and accounts that were once humans but are not anymore, and they're interacting in a disastrous website. There's no social connection at all. And it's basically like a new species of fake humans is replacing real humans. 99% of fake humans talking to other fake humans, no real humans anymore. And it's the same story with a lot of stuff like it's called the death of the internet. So the internet used to be so important. I mean, we had this amazing resource where we could connect. Now, 99% of it, like 99% of the photos will be fake, 99% of the videos will be fake, 99% of the articles, of the tweets, everything will be fake. So at the end of the day, I don't know how we're going to navigate this in a meaningful way. Like you'll be interacting with someone, it might be a bot, and you won't be able to tell. I mean, we're past the threshold of the Turing test.
I think seniors are so vulnerable to this. Like, oh my Lord, our parents' generation is just not going to know up from down.
So, you're right. I think even for us, we're so AGI built, and I mean, our default reaction will be, oh, interesting. But then we say, okay, hold on, is this AI? I mean, but immediately your instinct will be, oh, that's an interesting video. You don't immediately say, oh, this AI. And imagine like people like judges or politicians or people who are the decision makers. They're from a different generation. Yeah. And they're used to, base their reality on consuming media. And I don't know, we're just in uncharted territories. I think it's a major concern. It's not just what I said earlier, the vulnerability of the social fabric. And on its own, it's a huge issue. But imagine when superintelligence comes in the mix. We don't have any defenses, really, as it's very fragile, the whole thing.
Yeah. All right, we're going to do one more thing here quickly. We're going to talk about our friends at Mechanize, who want to tell the world that it's just inevitable that every single job will be done by a machine, and it's just inevitable, and stop your belly aching, just eat your inevitability, take your job's gone, and deal with it. And they got some blowback for this thing. Liron, tell us about the Mechanize situation and their little ode to the world.
So there's this company, Mechanize. Their website's Mechanize.work. They started a few months ago. They're known for having extremely intelligent founders who were previously members in good standing of the AI safety community. Matthew Barnett, Tammy Bessaroglu, Ege Erdil. So I mean, these are undoubtedly smart people. They have good takes. I enjoy reading their stuff. It's just there is a lot of consensus, at least among my sources, that Mechanize.work is just kind of part of the problem. They're saying like, hey, we're going to mechanize all work, which is fine. But I mean, it's fine in principle to, increase automation, right? I mean, we all like automation to some degree in our lives. But the problem is they've kind of bitten the bullet and just saying, listen, this is inevitable. We're just going to turn every job ever into a robotic job. And we're going to do this as fast as possible, which even if you ignore the AI doom side of that, which I wouldn't ignore, I think they're racing toward AI doom by doing these capabilities. There's also the gradual disempowerment side, which is like, okay, so you suddenly replace all economic value that humans create. And so now we basically don't have leverage over our government because there's kind of no point. It's very easy to convert a democracy into a tyranny when the people in the democracy, if you ignore their votes, they just don't have any recourse. Like they don't have the weapons, they don't have the economic power that they can withhold from you. And so to just accelerate all this, to just let this happen very fast, that is not a popular idea. And so they've recently published a post this week. It was kind of scandalous where they were just saying, listen, the thing they added on top of this is like, yes, we're doing this, but guys, this is inevitable. There's no way we can stop this because all technology increase, it just happens anyway, whether people like it or not. It happens simultaneously all over the world. So they basically threw up their hands and like, guys, there's no choice. So like, don't criticize us. We're just doing the inevitable.
Yeah, and this inevitability myth is one of the most frustrating things out there as for people like us who are trying to raise people's awareness of AI risk and push the point that this stuff is not inevitable. Michael, what was your take on our dear friends at Mechanize thinking every job is
I mean, it is not inevitable in the sense that if there is some kind of external factor, some kind of context change and structure that will change things. But if you leave this on its own, I think, to be honest, sorry, I have to say that if you don't make any change, it will be inevitable, because it's not like you have a choice. Let's take a very simple example. Let's say you're trying to run a business, and the other guy is selling the products half the price because he doesn't have any employees. He's automate everything. What are you gonna do? Who's gonna buy your products? So bye, you're gone. I mean, it's not like a choice to say, no, I want to keep humanity. I want to have workers. The market will throw you out of the picture. And the same goes for everything, like positions of power, politicians. They will have to automate stuff more and more if they want to be competitive. Armies, so the gradual disempowerment is a force of nature if there is no some external control. So unless there is some kind of law that says, you have to keep a few humans in place or whatever, if you leave it on its own, it's not a choice, really. It is inevitable, unless we change something. You see my point? What are you going to do? You're going to be bankrupt.
The idea of just as many jobs as fast as possible, that sounds horrific. Is there any way they're not going to win? Are they going to win? Are they going to achieve what they're trying to achieve, or is humanity going to push back?
How are you going to push back? Are you going to force? Again, if let's say you unionize and you're forcing your boss to keep you around, okay, your boss will go out of business. So some other guy who doesn't have this issue will, as I said, will sell the products half the price.
I know we're getting. It's like we're not quite there yet, right? It's like the other guy. In my business, the other guy is not entirely, doing AI yet. I think we'll get there.
Eventually in the future.
Yeah, eventually. It's certainly going there.
I mean, I would describe it like this: like they're correct that it is water flowing downhill to keep automating work and automating, because, like Michael was just saying, it's a huge advantage whenever you do. It's just that they then pre-assume, okay, it's water flowing downhill, so why would we ever try to resist it? It's like, there's obviously a degree of resistance that's going to work, and they've just kind of thrown up their hands like, no resistance is going to work. It's like, wait a minute, the slope isn't infinitely steep. We still have to discuss if we want to resist it.
Yeah.
I think resistance has to happen on a different level. So like changing the structure, the incentive structure. So it's a Moloch, Moloch, right? So as long as Moloch is there, so they cannot resist on their own. I cannot resist on their own. But maybe if all together we agree, we can kill Moloch, and then somehow it's about coordination.
Yeah, totally. Like, for example, this is kind of crazy, but recently SAG-AFTRA, who represents unionized TV reporters, won in their negotiation that they cannot have AI TV reporters on unionized stations, which is like, that's a regulation and a hard line to draw that is like a stop on this. And it's just like those kinds of things. If a million orgs did a million things, that's a million little breaks that just kind of slow it down a little bit. I don't know.
But if let's say a different channel doesn't have this restriction, will maybe I'm just saying it will create more engaging content, like optimize the content with some kind of crazy algorithm. I don't know. And again, it's about the competitive nature of the game, right? The natural selection dynamics of it, in a way, because the best one wins. So if you're not going to use the advantage, you're going to lose, right?
Yeah, and we will be the deciders, right? The humans who say the market is going to accept all this fake stuff, or we're going to reject it. We at least, I think, in the short term, have some ability to do that.
But we're going to lose the leverage if no one works. Exactly as Liron was saying. So who cares what you think if you're useless? If you don't contribute to any value to the society, let's say, if the robots do the work, who gives a shit? What do you say?
Right, and viewers can look up gradual disempowerment, because it's a very good, accessible explanation over what the problem is.
If you like the content we're making here on the AI Risk Network, but you're not a subscriber, what are you thinking? We need everyone to be a subscriber. Do it.
All right, guys, we are at time. Great to see you as always. I am here in Aspen, Colorado, with the beautiful aspen trees behind me. I don't know what type of fire. Like it'd be like a big bear hunting, like a out here hunting for bear in the woods here. That's what Colorado.
Can you make a bear? Can you make a bear coming from behind you with a Sora?
What is that?
All right, guys. Great to see you as always.
We'll do the
You got one?
some AI generated bullets.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you soon.
All right, see ya.
Cheers.